What is up, you friggin' geniuses? You're smarter than you know, okay? I have faith in you. So, today, I'm going to teach you how to add and subtract negative numbers. And you are going to understand this so well. I promise, okay? It's not that bad. So, something I want to start with really quick is just reintroducing something from the first video, from the introduction to negative numbers. So if you haven't seen that, go check it out, because I think it'll help. But I'm going to reintroduce a part of it right here. So something you need to understand that's very, very important is the number line. When we move to the right, okay, in this direction, when we move to the right, numbers are getting bigger, okay? The numbers are increasing as we move to the right on the number line. Okay, and conversely, right, so when we move in the opposite direction, so when we move to the left in that direction, numbers are getting, so yeah, when we're moving to the left, numbers are getting smaller, right? They're decreasing. So for example, if I asked you, what's bigger, 1 or 4? Okay, well 4 is bigger because it's further to the right on the number line, right? Because numbers are increasing the further they move to the right. So what if I asked you, what's bigger, -2 or 3? Again, 3 is bigger, right? Because it's further to the right on the number line. So again, what if I asked you, what's bigger, -5 or -1? Well, -1 is bigger because it's further to the right on the number line. Okay, so it's very important that you understand that, because it's going to make adding and subtracting negative numbers much easier for you. Now, when we're writing these little equations, we have a number, and then it's plus or minus another number, right? So when we use the number line to add and subtract numbers in general, whether they're positive or negative, this first number, this is your start point, okay? These two, the plus or the minus, those are your operations. Now, when you use a plus, you move to the right, okay? When we're adding numbers, you move to the right in that direction. When we subtract numbers, we move to the left in that direction, okay? And then this last number right here is how many times you move, okay? And then that gives us an answer. If I asked you, what is 3 plus 1? 3 plus 1. Okay, well remember, that's your start, that's your operation, that's your move. Okay, so we start at 3, and then you move over once, right, in the positive direction because we're adding. Where did we land? We landed on 4. So 3 plus 1 is equal to 4. Okay, that's how the number line works. That's how it helps us out when we're adding numbers. So what if I asked you, what's -3 plus 1? Well, again, -3 is our start, right? And we're adding. So we're moving to the right, and we're only moving once. Where did we land? -2. Okay, what if I flipped the equation? What if I said -1 plus 3? What would that be? Well, again, that's our start. So we start there. Operation is right there. We're going to add 3, right? We're moving 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Where did we land? +2. So this is a useful little tidbit. You don't have to write it down, but just try to remember that, okay? So that's always your start point, then this is our operation, and then we just move that many times. So let's get into some more examples that I think are really going to help you out. Now, I'm going to give you what I believe is the golden rule of subtraction, but this I would highly recommend writing it down. Okay, this is the golden rule of subtraction. Subtraction. What is it? Well, this is what I would always use. Big minus small equals positive, and I'm just abbreviating, POS, positive, and small minus big equals negative, NEG, negative, okay? Write this down on your test, on your homework, on your notes, whatever. This is gonna save your life, potentially, your math life, okay? It's gonna be really helpful, so I'm gonna show you what I mean, okay? So for example, we'll start with this first one, big minus small. Okay, what if I gave you the problem 3 minus 1? Okay, so which number is bigger here, 3 or 1? This is going to equal something, right? So we got 3 and 1. Which one's bigger? Okay, well 3 is bigger because it's further to the right. So this number is bigger. And we're subtracting away a smaller number. So big minus small, according to our golden rule, big minus small should be positive. Now, when we go to the number line, or maybe you can already just do this in your head, right? What's 3 minus 1? 2, right? And if we used the number line, we'd start at 3, and we're moving to the left because we're subtracting, and we're moving one time, right? Where did we land? 2, positive 2. So 3 minus 1 is equal to positive 2. According to our golden rule, it should be positive, and we got something positive, so they both check out. Okay, so now let's try out the other part of the rule. What if I gave you 1 minus 3? What's bigger, 1 or 3? 3 is bigger, right? And 1 is smaller. So we have a small minus big situation. According to our rule, small minus big is negative. So we should get a negative answer. Okay, let's go to the number line. We start at 1, and we move back 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Where did we land? Negative 2. Okay, according to our rule, we should have gotten something negative, and we did get something negative, right? Negative 2. So they both check out. Now, something I quickly want to point out so you don't get confused down the road. With these problems, so when I'm saying 3 minus 1, and I'm asking you which one's bigger, 3 or 1, I'm not asking you 3 or negative 1, right? Because this number is not negative 1. Right? Because this symbol in the middle is simply our operation. Okay? It's not attached to that number right there. It's our operation. Now, if I asked you 3 minus negative 1, okay, in this case, yeah, that number right there is negative 1. And that number is still 3, and this is still just our operation. Okay? So I just want to clear that up so you don't confuse the two, because we're going to get to these types of problems a little later in the video. But just keep that in mind, okay? Right now, this is just our operation. And later on, it's still just our operation. Okay, let's move on to the next example. So again, big minus small. It's positive. Small minus big is negative. So what if I gave you the problem negative 1 minus 3? Okay, which one's big, which one's small? Well, on our number line, we got 3 here, got negative 1 here, okay? So 3 is further to the right, so that one's big. Negative 1 is small. So we have a small minus big situation. Small minus big is negative. So negative 1 minus 3, let's go to our number line. We start at negative 1, we're going back 3 spaces. 1, 2, 3. Where did we land? Negative 4. Okay, so let's do one more example. What if we had negative 4 minus 2? What would this be? Well, again, got minus 4 and 2. Which one's big, which one's small? Well, we got 2 here, negative 4 here. So 2, right, is further to the right, so this one's big, and this one's small. So we have, again, a small minus big situation. According to our rule, we should get something negative. Now, let's go to the number line. Negative 4. We started -4, we move back 2. So 1, 2, where did we land? I'll write it in, -6. Our rule says we should have gotten something negative, and we did get something negative, -6. Okay, so just remember, this golden rule is simply just to check yourself. So if you're not sure if your answer should be positive or negative, it's the perfect way to check your answer. And then one last thing that I want to point out here is it's a little shortcut way of doing these. So let's go back to the first example I gave you, right? I gave you 1 plus 3. 1 plus 3 is equal to 4. So we don't explicitly write the positive signs here, but we know that this one is positive. Okay, so we could write a plus there, and the 4 also, we could write it there. So notice, plus, plus, and your answer is a plus. Same thing applies with negatives. When you got a minus here and you got a minus here, your answer is going to be negative, or it's going to have a minus. Okay, so minus, 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 plus, plus, plus. If that helps you out, definitely use it. But if it just confuses you more and it's easier to use the number line and using this rule over here, definitely stick to that. Okay, so we're going to go on to the next example. So if I gave you 1 plus -3. Well, this kind of looks weird, right? Because we have a plus and a minus right next to each other. So we got a plus and a minus next to each other. So I'm going to give you another rule that you need to write down or memorize. So when you got a plus and a minus next to each other, okay, delete the plus. What do I mean by that? Literally, just cross it out, get rid of it, okay? And rewrite whatever you have left. So we have 1 minus 3. What is this equal to? Well, what's 1 minus 3? You could either do it in your head, right? That'd be -2, or if you want to use the number line, start at 1, move back 3 spots, 1, 2, 3. Where did we land? -2. Okay? Now, what if I gave you -4 plus -2? That works. -4 plus 2. Well, again, what's our rule? When you see a plus and a minus next to each other, right? So there's a plus and a minus here. Cross out the plus and just rewrite what you have left. -4 minus 2. What's -4 minus 2? -6. Or if you want to use the number line again, start at -4, you go back 2 spots. 1, 2. Where did we land? -6. Okay, so again, write this down because it's going to save your life. It's going to be very helpful. And I want you to kick your homework's butt. Okay, so let's go to our last type of example. Okay. Okay, so what if I gave you the problem 1 minus -3? And again, to reiterate our main rule, big minus small equals positive, small minus big equals negative, right? Okay, so what do we have here? We have a 1 and we have a -3. Those are our two numbers. Okay, which one's big, which one's small? So we have 1, -3. Okay, so 1 is big because it's further to the right. So we have a big minus small situation. Big minus small. And then big minus small, according to our golden rule, should be big minus small is equal to positive. Okay, so we should get a positive answer. And we haven't seen a problem like this before, right? Because this has two negative signs. So we have a minus here and we have a minus there. So here's your last rule. I know, I hate rules too, but you're gonna love this rule. Okay, so when you have two minus signs next to each other, right? So again, how we have a minus here and a minus here right next to each other. You're gonna get rid of both of them and you're gonna turn it into a plus. Okay, what does that look like? Literally, get rid of that, and get rid of that. Just turn it into 1, and then you're going to put a big plus here, and you got the 3 left over. And 1 plus 3 is simply equal to 4. So our golden rule said big minus small should give us something positive. Did we get something positive? Yes, we did. Positive 4. A little trick I used to use when there's two minuses. So again, this was our problem, right? 1 minus negative 3. I would just connect the two minuses, right? And now it looks like a big plus sign. Big plus sign. So that kind of helped me memorize what to do in those situations. So let's do another example. What if I gave you, because I'm so generous, I like to give stuff. So what if I gave you 3 minus negative 2? Again, what's our rule? When you got two minus signs next to each other like this, turn it into a big plus. Okay, what's 3 plus 2? 5. Okay, and again, if we wanted to use our golden rule just to check this to make sure it's correct, we have 3 minus negative 2, right? That was the original problem. The two numbers we have here are 3 and negative 2. Let's look at the number line. We got 3 over here, negative 2 here. Remember, the number that's further to the right is bigger. So this is big. Negative 2 is small. According to the rule, big minus small should be big minus small is positive. Did we get a positive answer there? Yes, we did. We got positive 5. So this checks out. Okay, so just remember to write this rule down also, right? The two minuses, just make that into a big plus sign. Done. That's all it is. There's nothing more to it. Just that's the rule. Two minus signs, turn it into a plus, okay? So write this bad boy down. Got it? All right. One more example. It's going to be the most complicated one. It's really not more complicated than this. And I think you're going to be golden. Because you're already golden, okay? Okay, so what if I gave you the problem minus 1 minus negative 3? What would this be? So there's two ways we can solve this, right? We can use our rule, or we can use our golden rule, or we can use our shortcut. So this is the shortcut way of doing it. It's a little shortcut rule. And this was our golden rule up here. Okay, so let's start by doing it with, we'll do the golden rule first, okay, just so you can see how it works. So the two numbers we have here are negative 1, negative 3. So on the number line, negative 1 and negative 3. Which one's bigger? Well, this one's bigger, right, because it's further to the right. So this is big minus small. What's big minus small, according to the rule? Positive. Okay, so our answer here should be a positive something. So now let's apply our little shortcut rule of doing this, right? So we got a minus here and a minus here. Just turn this into a big plus sign. Okay, so now we're left with negative 1 plus 3. What's negative 1 plus 3? Well, we can use the number line real quick, right? So we start at negative 1, and then we're going to move. We start at negative 1, we're going to move 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Where did we land? Positive 2. Positive 2. So this is equal to positive 2. We were supposed to get something positive, and we did, right? So these check out. Now, what if I gave you negative 4 minus negative 5? Okay, again, our golden rule says what? We got to compare these two numbers, right? So we got negative 4, negative 5. Which one's bigger? We got negative 4 right here and negative 5 here. Which one's bigger? This one is negative 4 because it's further to the right. So we got a big minus small. According to the rule, big minus small is equal to positive. So our answer should be a positive something. So now using our shortcut rule, when we got a minus and a minus, just turn it into a big plus sign, right? So we can rewrite this as negative 4 plus 5. What's negative 4 plus 5? Well, we can use the number line one more time. Start at negative 4, move 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Where'd we land? 1. Positive 1. Positive 1. So according to the rule, we should have gotten something positive, and we did, right? So these check out. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I think that's going to help you out a lot with your homework, and you're going to be able to ace your test, and you're going to come back here and tell me how well you did. And I'm going to be so proud, like a papa bear, because you're my little cubs, even if you're older than me, okay? So in the next video, I'm going to teach you how to multiply and divide negative numbers. So if you need to check that out, definitely check that out. See you guys.